You know what would be really hot? If you let Marcus join us tonight. My wife said it casually, like she was suggesting we order Thai food instead of pizza. We were getting ready for bed. Tuesday night. Nothing special about it. I was brushing my teeth when those words came out of her mouth. I stopped mid-brush, looked at her reflection in the bathroom mirror. She was taking off her earrings, completely calm, waiting for my response like she'd just asked what time I wanted to wake up tomorrow. What did you just say? Marcus, from my yoga class. I've told you about him. She smiled at me through the mirror. He's really into the lifestyle. Very experienced. I think it could be fun for us. The lifestyle. Like it was a gym membership or a book club. Becca, we've never even discussed anything like that. I know. That's why I'm bringing it up now. She turned to face me, leaning against the dresser. We've been married 4 years. Things have gotten a little predictable, don't you think? I rinsed my mouth. Bought myself 5 seconds to process what was happening. You want to bring another man into our bedroom. I want us to explore. To keep things exciting. She walked over, put her hand on my chest. Come on, David. Don't be so vanilla about this. It's 2024. People do this all the time. People who've talked about it first. People who both want it. Her hand dropped. The warmth in her eyes cooled about 20 degrees. So you're saying no. I'm saying this is the first I'm hearing about it. And yeah, I'm not interested. She nodded slowly. Didn't say anything else. Just got into bed, turned off her lamp, rolled over to face the wall. Conversation over. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, Becca brought up Marcus 6 more times. Different approaches. Different angles. She sent me articles about couples who strengthened their marriage through opening up their relationship. She showed me statistics. She told me I was being insecure, that my masculinity was fragile, that I didn't trust her. Every time, I said no. Every time, she got a little colder. By week 3, she barely spoke to me unless she was pitching Marcus again. We stopped having sex entirely. She started coming home later from yoga. Started texting more, smiling at her phone in ways she didn't smile at me anymore. I'm not stupid. I knew what was probably happening, but I didn't have proof. And part of me didn't want it. Then came last Saturday. I was working from home, finishing up a project proposal that was due Monday. Becca said she was going to a friend's baby shower across town. Said she'd be back around 6. At 4:30, my laptop died. The charger was in my car, which was in the shop getting the brake pads replaced. Becca had taken her car to the shower. Or so I thought. I called her. No answer. Texted. Nothing. I needed that charger. The proposal couldn't wait. So I checked the Find My app, something we'd set up years ago for safety, never really used. Her car was 17 minutes away. Not at any baby shower venue. It was parked at the Marriott on Westbrook Avenue. I stared at that blue dot for a full minute. Then I grabbed my keys to her car. We each had spares, and drove to the Marriott. Her Lexus was in the parking garage. 3rd level. I parked 2 rows back and called her again. Watched her phone light up in the center console of her car through the window. She'd left it behind. People don't leave their phones behind by accident. Not in 2024. You leave your phone behind when you don't want to be tracked. When you don't want texts coming through at the wrong time. I went inside the hotel. The lobby was busy. Weekend afternoon, people checking in, checking out. I stood near the elevator bank, trying to figure out my next move. I didn't know what room. Didn't know what floor. Didn't even know for sure if she was here. Then the elevator doors opened. Becca stepped out. She wasn't alone. The guy next to her was tall, maybe 6'2", athletic build, man bun, sleeve tattoos. He had his hand on the small of her back. They were laughing about something. She saw me the same moment I saw her. Everything stopped. The laughter cut off. Her face went completely blank for 1 second, then shifted into something I'd never seen before. Not guilt. Not shame. Annoyance. David, what are you doing here? The guy, Marcus, obviously, looked between us, reading the situation fast. He didn't move his hand. I could ask you the same thing. My voice came out steady, calmer than I felt. This isn't what it looks like. It looks like you're at a hotel with the guy you've been trying to get into our bed for 3 weeks. Marcus's eyebrows went up. Becca shot him a look, then turned back to me. Can we not do this here? Where would you like to do it? In whatever room you two just came from. People were starting to notice. A couple near the front desk glanced over. Becca's jaw tightened. You're being dramatic. Am I? She stepped closer, lowered her voice. You wouldn't give me what I needed, so I found it somewhere else. That's on you. The words hit like a physical thing. Marcus still hadn't said anything. Just stood there with his hand on my wife's back. Watching me like this was mildly entertaining. We're married, Becca. And I asked you to evolve with me. You refused. She said it like I'd declined to try a new restaurant. So yes, I'm seeing Marcus. And I'm going to keep seeing him. You can either accept that and join us, or you can stay in your boring, conventional little box. Your choice. She waited. Actually waited for me to respond. Like there was a version of this where I said okay, and we all went back upstairs together. I looked at Marcus. Does she tell you she's married? He shrugged. She mentioned it. And you're cool with this? Not my relationship, man. I'm just here for a good time. He smiled. No hard feelings. I looked back at Becca. For years of marriage. For years of building a life. And she was standing in a hotel lobby, telling me to accept her affair or get out of the way. I want a divorce. She blinked. You're not serious. Completely serious. David, don't be childish. We can work through this if you just open your mind. There's nothing to work through. You cheated. We're done. Her expression shifted again. The annoyance became something sharper. Fine. If that's how you want to play it, go ahead. But don't expect me to make this easy for you. I don't expect anything from you anymore. I turned and walked out. Didn't wait for a response. Didn't look back. Made it to the parking garage, got in her car, and sat there shaking for 5 minutes before I could drive. When I got home, I called a lawyer. His name was Richard Moss. He'd handled my sister's divorce 2 years ago. I told him everything. He listened without interrupting, then asked 3 questions. Do you have proof of the affair? I saw them together at a hotel. Photos? Video? Text messages? No. Do you have any shared assets? House, cars, savings. We rent. Both cars are in our individual names. Joint checking account, about $18,000 in it. My 401k is mine. Hers is hers. Kids? No. He was quiet for a moment. This should be straightforward. California's a no-fault state, so the affair doesn't matter legally, but it might motivate her to settle quickly if she thinks you'll make noise about it. How do you want to proceed? Fast. Clean. I don't want anything from her. I just want out. I'll draft the papers. You can serve her by Wednesday. I thanked him and hung up. Becca came home 2 hours later. I was in the living room, reading over the initial documents Richard had emailed me. She dropped her purse on the counter. We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. David, come on. You're upset. I get it. But let's be adults here. I looked up from the papers. You're right. Let's be adults. I filed for divorce. You'll be served in a few days. We don't have much to split, so this should be quick. Her face changed. You actually filed. I told you I would. I thought you were being dramatic. Trying to scare me. I don't make threats, Becca. I make decisions. She stood there, processing. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. You're really going to throw away 4 years over one mistake? It wasn't a mistake. You planned it. You've been planning it for weeks. And you told me to accept it or leave. So I'm leaving. The laugh died. You're going to regret this. Maybe. But I'll regret it single. She stared at me for a long moment, then grabbed her purse and walked out. Slammed the door hard enough to rattle the frame. She didn't come back that night. The next morning, I woke up to 43 text messages. Most were from Becca. A few from numbers I didn't recognize. I opened hers first. Becca, you're really doing this? Becca, fine. You want to be stubborn? I'll show you stubborn. Becca, hope you're ready for everyone to know what kind of husband you were. Becca, controlling. Jealous. Insecure. Becca, I have receipts. The messages from unknown numbers were worse. Unknown. Heard you're an abusive piece of shit. Becca deserves better. Unknown. Imagine being so insecure you can't handle your wife having friends. Unknown. You're a fucking coward. I scrolled through all of them. Checked Facebook. She'd posted something an hour ago. Sometimes the hardest thing is realizing the person you married isn't who you thought they were. To everyone asking if I'm okay, I will be. Just need time to heal from a really controlling situation. Thank you for the support. 300 likes. 100 comments. People I knew. People from her work. Mutual friends. Everyone telling her how strong she was. How she deserved better. How they always knew something was off about me. She was rewriting the story before it even started. I called Richard. She's getting ahead of this, I said. Telling people I'm controlling and abusive. Do you have any history of violence? Arrests? Restraining orders? No. Nothing. Then it's just noise. Don't engage. Don't defend yourself publicly. Let her talk. The truth will come out in court if it needs to. And if she keeps lying? David, I've seen this before. Someone cheats, gets caught, flips the narrative to avoid being the villain. It works on social media. It doesn't work in divorce proceedings. Stay quiet. Stay clean. Let me handle the legal side. I wanted to argue. Wanted to post screenshots, defend myself, show everyone what actually happened. But I didn't. I deleted Facebook from my phone, muted Becca's number, blocked the unknown contacts. And I waited. The divorce papers were served on Wednesday, just like Richard said. Process server caught her at her office. She called me 16 times that afternoon. I didn't answer. She showed up at the apartment that night. I opened the door. She was crying. Real tears, not the performative kind. David, please. Can we just talk about this? We've talked. There's nothing left to say. I made a mistake. Okay. I see that now. I got caught up in something, and I handled it wrong. But we can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can. You didn't make a mistake, Becca. You made a choice. You chose Marcus. You chose to lie. You chose to cheat. Those aren't mistakes. Those are decisions. I'll end it with him. Right now. I'll call him and end it. I don't care if you end it. That's not the point. Then what is the point? I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I'd married 4 years ago. The woman who'd stood in front of our families and promised forever. The point is I don't trust you anymore. And I don't love you anymore. Whatever we had, you killed it. And I'm not interested in trying to resurrect something that's already dead. Her tears stopped. Just like that. The sadness shifted into something else. You're going to regret this, she said quietly. You already said that. No. I mean really regret it. You think I'm just going to let you walk away? After everything I put into this marriage. You put Marcus into this marriage. That's about it. Her face went hard. I could destroy you, David. One phone call to your boss about the kind of man you really are. One post with the right details. People believe women. You know that, right? Is that a threat? It's a fact. I stepped back, started to close the door. Goodbye, Becca. She shoved her foot in the gap. I'm not done. Yeah, you are. I closed the door. Heard her kick it from the other side. Heard her yelling something I couldn't make out. Then footsteps. Then silence. I locked the deadbolt and sat down on the couch. My phone buzzed. Becca, you just made the biggest mistake of your life. I blocked her number. 2 days later, I got called into HR. My manager, Karen, was there. So was the head of HR, a woman named Patricia I'd maybe spoken to twice in 3 years. David, thanks for coming in, Patricia said. Please sit down. I sat. What's this about? We received a complaint about you. From your wife. My stomach dropped. What kind of complaint? Patricia slid a printed email across the desk. I read it. To whom it may concern. I'm writing to inform you of concerning behavior from your employee, David Harrington. Over the past several months, David has exhibited controlling and emotionally abusive patterns toward me, including monitoring my location, isolating me from friends, and making threats when I attempted to set boundaries. I'm currently in the process of divorcing him for my own safety. I believe his employer should be aware of this behavior, as it may impact his professional conduct. Sincerely, Rebecca Harrington. I looked up. This is completely false. She provided screenshots of text messages, Patricia said. Ones where you accused her of cheating and demanded to know where she was. Because she was cheating, I found her at a hotel with another man. Karen shifted in her seat. David, we're not here to litigate your marriage. We're here because this creates a concern about workplace conduct. I haven't done anything wrong, at work or otherwise. The texts she showed indicate a pattern of controlling behavior. Can I see them? Patricia hesitated, then turned her monitor toward me. The screenshots were real. Messages I'd sent. But she'd cropped them, cut out her parts, made it look like I was sending paranoid, controlling demands out of nowhere. One read, "Where are you? Why aren't you answering?" In context, I'd sent that when she was supposed to pick me up from the mechanic and didn't show. I'd been stranded for an hour. Another, "I know you're lying to me." That was after I'd found her at the hotel, after I'd seen her with Marcus. But cropped like this, without context, they looked bad. This isn't the full story, I said. Then what is the full story? Patricia asked. I explained. The Marcus situation, the affair, the hotel, the divorce. They listened, didn't interrupt. When I finished, Patricia nodded slowly. We appreciate you sharing your side. However, we have a zero-tolerance policy for any behavior that could be perceived as harassment or abuse. Given the sensitive nature of these allegations, we're going to place you on administrative leave while we investigate. Administrative leave? Paid, Karen added quickly. Just until we can sort this out. How long? Shouldn't be more than a week or two. I stood up. This is exactly what she wanted. David, she threatened me. 2 days ago. Said she'd make one phone call to my boss and destroy me. And here we are. Patricia's expression didn't change. We take all complaints seriously. This isn't personal. It is to her. I left the office. Grabbed my things from my desk. A few coworkers watched. Word had already spread. I could see it in their faces. I drove home and called Richard. She filed a false complaint with your employer? He asked. Showed them cropped text messages to make me look abusive. That's defamation. We can add it to the divorce filing. Did you get copies of what she sent? No. Request them from HR. In writing. Tell them you're consulting an attorney. They'll hand them over to protect themselves. Will this affect the divorce? It might speed it up. If she's already being vindictive, the court won't look favorably on that. Keep records of everything. Every email, every text, every interaction. I already blocked her. Unblock her. Let her send whatever she wants. It's all evidence. I unblocked Becca's number. Within 5 minutes, messages started coming through. Becca, hope you enjoyed your meeting. Becca, told you I'd make you regret it. Becca, this is just the beginning. I screenshot every one. That night, she posted again on Facebook. Update. I've taken steps to protect myself legally and professionally. To everyone who reached out, thank you. Your support means everything. To those defending him, you don't know the whole story. Trust me on that. More likes. More comments. More people I knew, taking her side. My sister called. David, what the hell is going on? Becca's posting all this stuff about you being controlling and abusive. Is any of that true? None of it. Then why is she saying it? I told her everything. The affair. The divorce. The HR complaint. Lindsay was quiet for a long moment. Then, Jesus Christ. Yeah. What are you going to do? Well, my lawyer told me. Stay quiet. Document everything. Let her destroy herself. And if she doesn't destroy herself, if people believe her, then I lose some friends who weren't really friends to begin with. David, I'm serious, Linz. If people want to believe I'm some abusive monster based on Facebook posts from a woman who cheated on me, those aren't people I need in my life. She sighed. Okay, but I'm here if you need anything. And for the record, I never liked her. That got a laugh out of me. First one in days. You told me she was great. I lied. She always seemed fake to me. Like she was performing being a wife instead of actually being one. Wish you'd said that 4 years ago. You were happy. Or I thought you were. So did I. We talked for a few more minutes, then hung up. I ordered takeout, turned on a movie I didn't watch, and waited for the next bomb to drop. It came the following morning. An email from Patricia. David, after reviewing all available information and consulting with our legal team, we've determined that the allegations made do not constitute a violation of company policy. You're cleared to return to work Monday. However, we recommend avoiding any contact with your wife during this period, and we ask that you inform us immediately if any further complaints are made. Best, Patricia. Relief hit me like a wave. I forwarded the email to Richard. His response was fast. Good. Now let's finish this divorce. The hearing was set for 3 weeks later. Becca hired a lawyer. Some guy named Derek Chun who had a reputation for being aggressive. Richard wasn't worried. She doesn't have grounds for anything, he said. No kids, no shared property, no long-term marriage. This is open and shut. She's going to fight it anyway. Let her. It'll cost her more in legal fees than she'll ever get out of this. He was right. The hearing lasted 45 minutes. Becca's lawyer tried to argue she deserved spousal support because she'd sacrificed her career to support mine. The judge asked what career. Becca worked part-time at a yoga studio. I was a project manager at a mid-sized tech firm. He tried to argue I was hiding assets. Richard showed bank statements. Everything was there. Nothing hidden. He tried to argue I was emotionally abusive. Richard brought up the affair. The hotel. The text messages where she admitted it. The judge looked tired. Is there anything else, Mr. Chin? Derek glanced at Becca. She whispered something to him. He nodded. Your Honor, my client believes there are grounds for reconciliation. She's willing to attend counseling if Mr. Harrington. Does Mr. Harrington want reconciliation? The judge interrupted. No, Your Honor, Richard said. Then we're done here. The judge signed the papers. Divorce granted. Assets split according to the prenuptial terms. Neither party owes the other spousal support. This marriage is dissolved. Just like that. For years. Over in 45 minutes. Becca stared at the judge like she couldn't believe what just happened. Derek tried to say something else, but the judge was already moving to the next case. Outside the courtroom, Becca caught up to me. David, wait. I stopped. Richard stayed close. This is really it? She asked. You're really just walking away? The judge already signed the papers. There's nothing to walk away from. We can still fix this. The divorce doesn't have to be final for 30 days. We can. Becca, stop. It's over. It's been over since the hotel. This was just making it official. Her eyes filled with tears. I still love you. No, you don't. You love the idea of not losing. But you already lost. We both did. The difference is I'm okay with it. She wiped her eyes. The tears stopped as fast as they'd started. You're going to end up alone. You know that? No one's going to want someone as closed-minded as you. Maybe. But I'd rather be alone than be with someone who doesn't respect me. I walked away. Richard caught up. Clean break. That's how you want it. That's how I need it. We shook hands. He said he'd send the final documents within a week. I drove home. The apartment felt different now. Lighter somehow. Like something heavy had been lifted. I spent the weekend packing up the last of Becca's things. Boxes of clothes, books, bathroom stuff she'd left behind. Called her to arrange pickup. She didn't answer. I left a message. Told her everything would be on the curb Sunday night if she didn't come get it. She showed up Sunday afternoon. Marcus was with her. They pulled up in his truck. I watched from the window as they loaded boxes. Becca didn't look at the apartment. Didn't look for me. Just grabbed her stuff and left. When they drove away, I locked the door and sat down on the couch. For years. Gone. And I felt nothing. No sadness. No anger. Just relief. My phone buzzed. Lindsay, how you holding up? Me. Better than I thought. Lindsay, good. You deserve better than her anyway. Me, I know. And I did. For the first time in months, I actually believed it. If you're still here, hit that subscribe button. Because what happened next made everything else look simple. Monday morning, I went back to work. People stared. Whispered. I ignored it. Focused on my projects. Karen checked in twice. Asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. By Wednesday, the whispers stopped. By Friday, things felt almost normal. Then Saturday happened. I was at the grocery store, grabbing basics for the week, when I ran into someone I hadn't seen in over a year. Emily Trenton. We'd worked together at my previous job. Stayed friendly after I left. She was in the produce section, picking through avocados. David? Oh my God, hey. We hugged. Caught up. She'd just moved back to the area after a stint in Portland. Asked what I'd been up to. Got divorced, actually. Just finalized last week. Her face fell. Oh no. I'm so sorry. Don't be. It was the right call. We talked for a few more minutes. She mentioned she was new to the area, didn't know many people yet. I mentioned a good coffee place nearby. She suggested we grab coffee sometime. I said sure. We exchanged numbers. I didn't think much of it. Just two old co-workers reconnecting. But when I got home, I had a text from a number I didn't recognize. Unknown. Saw you at the store. Already moving on. That was fast. I stared at the message. Me, who is this? No response. I checked the coffee place the next morning. Sat outside with a book. Emily showed up 10 minutes late, apologizing. We talked for an hour. Work stuff mostly. She was consulting now, building her own client base. I told her about the divorce in vague terms. She was sympathetic but didn't pry. It was easy. Comfortable. When we left, she suggested doing it again next week. I agreed. That night, my phone lit up with notifications. Facebook. Instagram. Messages from people I barely knew. I opened Facebook. Becca had posted a photo. Me and Emily at the coffee shop. Someone had taken it from across the street. We were laughing about something. The angle made it look more intimate than it was. The caption read, "Guess the abusive husband found someone new already. Interesting how fast he moved on. Makes you wonder what the real story was." 400 likes in 2 hours. Comments flooded in. Wow. And he tried to play the victim. Men are trash. She dodged a bullet. I called Richard. She's posting photos of you in public, he asked. Someone took a photo. She posted it with a caption implying I was cheating during the marriage. Were you? No. I ran into an old coworker. We had coffee. That's it. Can you prove you just ran into her? We exchanged numbers yesterday at the grocery store. I have the texts time-stamped. Good. Send me screenshots. I'll draft a cease and desist. This is harassment now. The cease and desist was delivered Tuesday. Becca's response was to post again. Apparently asking questions about my ex's new relationship is harassment now. His lawyer sent me legal threats for posting a photo taken in public. But sure, I'm the bad guy here. More likes. More comments. Emily texted me. Emily. Hey, someone sent me a Facebook post about us. Do you know what that's about? I called her. Explained the situation. The affair. The divorce. The social media campaign. She was quiet for a moment. That's insane. Yeah. Do you want to stop hanging out? I don't want to make this worse for you. No. I'm not letting her dictate my life. But I understand if you want distance. I don't. But maybe we keep things low-key for a while. Until she calms down. That works. We didn't see each other for 2 weeks after that. But Becca didn't calm down. She started showing up places. The gym I went to. The coffee shop near my apartment. The grocery store. Always with Marcus. Always just happening to be there. I mentioned it to Richard. She's trying to provoke you, he said. Don't engage. Don't acknowledge her. If she approaches you, walk away. If she keeps it up, we file for a restraining order. She kept it up. 3 weeks after the divorce was finalized, I was leaving the gym when she stepped out from between 2 cars. We need to talk. I kept walking. David, I'm serious. Stop. I got in my car. She knocked on the window. You can't ignore me forever. I started the engine. She hit the window harder. I know you're seeing that girl from the coffee shop. You think I don't know? You think I'm stupid? I backed out. She moved with the car, hand on the hood. David, stop the fucking car. I stopped. Waited. She walked around to my window. What do you want, Becca? I want you to admit you were seeing her before we got divorced. I wasn't. Bullshit. You don't just run into someone and start dating. We're not dating. Then what are you doing? That's none of your business. Her face twisted. Everything about you is my business. You were my husband. Were. Past tense. We're done. You need to move on. Move on. She laughed. You ruined my life. You turned everyone against me. You made me look like the villain when all I did was try to save our marriage. You cheated on me. Because you wouldn't meet my needs. So file for divorce next time instead of fucking someone else. She slapped the car. You're an asshole. And you're in my way. I drove off. Watched her in the rearview mirror, standing in the middle of the parking lot, screaming something I couldn't hear. I went straight to Richard's office. File for the restraining order, I said. Tell me what happened. I did. He took notes. Asked if anyone witnessed it. I said probably. The gym parking lot had cameras. I'll request the footage. We'll file tomorrow. The restraining order hearing was set for 2 weeks later. Becca showed up with Derek. Argued that I was harassing her by existing in public spaces. That I was flaunting my new relationship to hurt her. The judge asked if I'd contacted her. No, Your Honor. Have you threatened her? No. Have you approached her in any way? I've actively avoided her. The judge looked at Derek. Do you have evidence to the contrary? Derek hesitated. My client feels unsafe. Feelings aren't evidence, Mr. Chun. Does she have proof Mr. Harrington has contacted or threatened her since the divorce? The social media posts were posted by your client about Mr. Harrington, not the other way around. The judge looked at Becca. Ma'am, you're the one who approached him in the parking lot. You're the one posting about him online. You're the one showing up where he frequents. If anyone should be filing for a restraining order, it's him. Derek started to object. The judge cut him off. Restraining order granted. Mrs. Harrington is to maintain a distance of at least 100 yards from Mr. Harrington at all times. No contact. No social media posts. Violation will result in immediate penalties. Do you understand? Becca stared at the judge. This is insane. Do you understand? The judge repeated. Yes. Good. We're done here. Outside, Becca tried to approach me again. Richard stepped between us. You just got a restraining order, he said. One I violated in front of the courthouse. She stopped. Looked at me over his shoulder. This isn't over, she said. Yeah, I said. It is. She left with Derek. I watched them get into his car and drive away. Richard turned to me. Change your routine for a while. Different gym, different coffee shop. Just until she gets the message. How long will that take? Depends on how stubborn she is. Turned out, pretty stubborn. The restraining order didn't stop the social media posts. She couldn't tag me, couldn't mention me by name, but she kept posting vague references. When someone uses the legal system to silence their victims, Restraining orders don't erase the truth. Still healing from narcissistic abuse. People ate it up. I stopped checking. Deleted my social media entirely. If I didn't see it, it didn't exist. Emily and I started seeing each other more regularly. Actual dates now, not just coffee. She was careful about it. Never posted anything. Never mentioned me online. 3 months after the divorce, Becca violated the restraining order. I was at a restaurant with Emily. Nice place, downtown. We'd just ordered when Becca walked in. Alone this time. No Marcus. She saw me immediately. Started walking toward our table. Emily noticed. Is that her? Yeah. Don't engage. Becca stopped 5 feet away. Close enough to violate the order. Far enough to claim it was accidental. David. I pulled out my phone. Started recording. You're violating the restraining order. Leave. I'm just here for dinner. It's a public place. There are 50 restaurants in this city. You chose this one. Leave, or I'm calling the police. She looked at Emily. Is this her? The one you cheated with? Emily stayed quiet. We weren't together when I met her. I said. You know that. Leave. You moved on so fast. Like I meant nothing. Becca, I'm calling the police in 10 seconds. She smiled. Go ahead. I dialed 911. She waited until they answered, then walked out. The operator stayed on the line. Asked what happened. I explained. She said an officer would come take a statement. He arrived 15 minutes later. Took the recording. Took my statement and Emily's. Said he'd file a report. Will anything happen? I asked. She'll get a warning. Maybe a fine. If she does it again, it's jail time. She did it again. 2 weeks later. Same restaurant. This time I had the cop on speed dial. She was arrested on the spot. Spent the night in jail. Derek bailed her out the next morning. The hearing was brutal. The judge was the same one who'd granted the order. Mrs. Harrington, I specifically told you to stay away from Mr. Harrington. You violated that order twice. Why should I not hold you in contempt? Becca started crying. He's flaunting his new relationship in my face. I can't heal when he's constantly. He's living his life. You're stalking him. There's a difference. The judge looked at Derek. Does your client understand the severity of this? She does, Your Honor. She's been under significant emotional distress. That's not an excuse. Mrs. Harrington, I'm issuing a 30-day jail sentence for contempt, suspended on the condition you complete a psychological evaluation and anger management courses. If you violate this order one more time, you'll serve the full sentence plus additional penalties. Am I clear? Becca nodded. Out loud, please. Yes, Your Honor. Good. Get out of my courtroom. She left with Derek. I didn't see her again after that. The social media posts stopped. The sightings stopped. The messages from strangers stopped. 6 months later, I heard through mutual friends that she and Marcus had broken up, that she'd moved to Arizona, that she'd deleted all her social media. I didn't care enough to verify. Emily and I kept seeing each other. Took it slow. No rush. She understood what I'd been through. Gave me space when I needed it. A year after the divorce, we moved in together. 2 years after, we got engaged. People asked if I was scared, if I worried it would happen again. Honestly, no. Because I learned something from Becca. I learned that trust isn't about believing someone will never hurt you. It's about knowing what you'll do if they try. I learned that love doesn't mean accepting disrespect in the name of keeping the peace. And I learned that sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away from someone who refuses to see your worth. Becca wanted me to evolve, to open up, to accept her terms. I did evolve, just not in the way she wanted. I evolved into someone who doesn't settle, someone who doesn't negotiate boundaries, someone who knows the difference between loneliness and peace. And honestly, I've never been better. 3 years after the divorce, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. David? It's Marcus. I stopped walking. I was halfway through my morning run, blocks from the apartment Emily and I shared. Hearing that name after all this time felt like stepping into cold water. What do you want? I need to talk to you. About Becca. I have nothing to say about her. Just, please. 5 minutes. It's important. I thought about hanging up. Thought about blocking the number and forgetting this conversation ever happened. But curiosity won. 5 minutes. Talk. He exhaled. She contacted me last week. First time in 2 years. Said she wanted to meet up, talk about what happened. I thought maybe she wanted closure or something, so I agreed. Why are you telling me this? Because she's not looking for closure. She's looking for revenge. The word hung there. Revenge on who? You. She spent an hour telling me how you destroyed her life, how you turned everyone against her, how you're engaged now and she's alone in Arizona working at some dead-end job. She asked if I'd help her. Help her do what? She didn't say exactly. Just kept talking about how you don't deserve to be happy, how someone needs to show your new girl who you really are. I told her I wasn't interested. She got angry, said I owed her. I left. I started walking again, slower now. And you're calling me because I think she's going to do something. And I don't want any part of it. But I thought you should know. Did she threaten me specifically? Not in words I could record or anything. But yeah, the intent was clear. I thanked him and hung up. Called Richard immediately. She's in Arizona, he said. Restraining order still applies across state lines. If she contacts you or comes anywhere near you, she's violating it. Marcus said she's planning something. Planning and doing are different. Stay alert. Document anything suspicious. But don't panic. She tried this before and it didn't work. He was right. I'd been through this. Knew the patterns. But something felt different this time. I told Emily that night. We were making dinner, her chopping vegetables while I handled the pasta. I kept it casual, didn't want to worry her. Marcus called today. She looked up. Becca's Marcus? Yeah. Said she contacted him. Talking about revenge. Emily set the knife down. Revenge for what? The divorce was 3 years ago. For being happy, I guess. For moving on. Did he say what she's planning? No. Just that she's angry and wanted his help. Emily was quiet for a moment. Should we be worried? I don't think so. She's in Arizona. She knows what happens if she violates the restraining order again. She's just venting. Emily nodded, but I could see the concern in her eyes. We finished dinner. Watched a movie. Went to bed. But I didn't sleep well that night. A week passed. Nothing happened. Then 2 weeks. I started to relax. Figured Marcus had been overreacting. Maybe Becca had just needed to vent. Maybe she'd moved on. Then I got an email at work. The subject line read, "You need to see this." No sender name. Just a generic Gmail address I didn't recognize. I almost deleted it. Spam, probably. But I opened it. Inside was a link to a website. No text. Just the link. I clicked it. The page loaded slowly. When it finished, I stared at the screen. It was a blog. The title, The Truth About David Harrington. Below that, photos. Me and Emily at restaurants. Walking in the park. Getting coffee. All taken from a distance, zoom lens, like surveillance photos. And beneath the photos, paragraphs of text. I started reading. David Harrington is a manipulative abuser who destroyed my life. He isolated me from friends, controlled my finances, and when I tried to leave, he used the legal system to silence me. Now he's moved on to his next victim. I'm creating this site so she knows what she's getting into. So everyone knows who he really is. More photos. More accusations. Claims I'd been violent. That I'd threatened her. That I'd cheated throughout the marriage. All lies. But written convincingly. Formatted professionally. With enough real details mixed in, dates, places, names, to seem credible. At the bottom, if you know David Harrington, please share this. People deserve to know the truth. I forwarded the link to Richard. He called back in 10 minutes. This is defamation. Clear cut. We can sue for this. How long will that take? Months. Maybe a year. And she's in Arizona, so jurisdiction gets complicated. What do I do in the meantime? Document everything. Save the site. Screenshot it all. I'll draft a cease and desist. But honestly, if she's willing to go this far, a letter probably won't stop her. Can we get the site taken down? We can try. I'll contact the hosting company, claim defamation. But these things take time. And if she's determined, she'll just put it back up somewhere else. I hung up and checked social media. The link had been shared 14 times already. People from my past. Old coworkers. Mutual friends from the marriage. Some of the comments. Always knew something was off about him. Poor Becca. She tried to warn everyone. Hope his new girlfriend sees this before it's too late. I showed Emily when she got home. She read through the site in silence. When she finished, she looked at me. None of this is true. I know. So we prove it's not true. We get it taken down. We sue her. That takes time. In the meantime, this is out there. People are seeing it. Believing it. Then we tell the truth. We show people the real story. I tried that during the divorce. It didn't work then. It won't work now. Emily set her laptop down. So what? We just let her win. We don't engage. We live our lives. Eventually, people forget. David, she's calling you an abuser. On the internet. With your full name. Anyone who Googles you will find this. She was right. I Googled myself. The blog was the third result. I called Richard back. It's already ranking in search. We need to get ahead of this. I'm working on it. But legally, our hands are tied until we can get a court order. And that requires filing a lawsuit, which means time and money. How much money? Could be 20, 30,000 by the time it's done. Maybe more if she fights it. I thought about it. Thought about spending another year in legal battles with Becca. Thought about the money, the stress, the constant reminders. Do it, I said. File the lawsuit. Richard started the paperwork the next day. But the damage was spreading. By the end of the week, the site had been shared over 100 times. Someone sent it to my boss. Karen called me into her office again. David, we need to talk about this website. I'd been expecting this. Had my response ready. It's defamation. My attorney is handling it. Everything on that site is false. I believe you. But other people are asking questions. We've gotten emails, phone calls, people claiming they're concerned about your conduct. From who? I can't share that. But it's becoming a distraction, and we need to address it. How? She hesitated. We think it might be best if you took some time off, just until this blows over. You're suspending me again? Not suspending. Just giving you space to handle this privately. I didn't do anything wrong. I know, but perception matters. And right now, the perception isn't good. I stood up. If you're asking me to leave, just say it. We're not asking you to leave. We're asking you to take a voluntary leave of absence. Paid. 2 weeks. Let your lawyer sort this out, and then we revisit. I walked out without responding. Got to my car and sat there for 20 minutes. Called Emily. They're making me take leave. What? What? Because of the website. People are calling, emailing. They want me gone until it's handled. That's bullshit. You should fight it. I'm tired, Em. I'm tired of fighting her. I'm tired of defending myself. I'm just tired. She was quiet for a moment. Come home. We'll figure this out together. I drove home. Emily was waiting. She'd made coffee, set up the couch with blankets. We sat there for hours. Didn't talk much. Just sat. My phone buzzed constantly. Messages from people I hadn't talked to in years. Some supportive. Most weren't. Unknown. Just saw the website. Can't believe I ever trusted you. Unknown. Hope your new girlfriend knows what she's getting into. Unknown. You should be in jail. I turned my phone off. Maybe we should go somewhere, Emily said. Take a trip. Get away from all this for a while. Running away doesn't solve it. Neither does sitting here watching it get worse. She was right. We booked a cabin upstate. Left the next morning. 3 hours north, middle of nowhere, no cell service. It was exactly what I needed. We hiked. Cooked meals. Sat by the fire. Didn't check email. Didn't check social media. For 3 days, Becca didn't exist. Then we came back, and everything had gotten worse. The website had been picked up by some men's rights forum. They'd turned it into a cause. Spread it everywhere. Added their own commentary. My name was trending on Twitter. Not trending like celebrity trending. Trending like scandal trending. Hundreds of people who'd never met me, calling me an abuser. Demanding I be fired. Demanding Emily leave me. Someone had found Emily's Instagram. Started flooding her comments. Leave him before it's too late. You're dating an abuser. How can you defend him? Emily made her account private. Then deleted it entirely. This is insane, she said. How is this legal? It's not. But proving it takes time. Richard called that afternoon. The hosting company took the site down. Relief washed over me. Thank God. Don't celebrate yet. She put it back up on a different host within 2 hours. This one's overseas. Harder to take down. So what do? We keep building the lawsuit. Keep documenting. And we wait. For what? For her to make a mistake. People like this always do. I wanted to believe him. But days kept passing and nothing changed. The news site stayed up. The Twitter thread kept growing. My 2-week leave turned into 4 weeks. Emily started getting followed. Not online. In person. She noticed it first at the grocery store. Someone with a camera, keeping distance but clearly watching. Then at her gym. Same person. She called me. I called the police. They sent an officer. Took a statement. Said unless the person made direct contact or threats, there wasn't much they could do. This is harassment, Emily said. We know, but we need proof of intent. Right now it's just someone in public spaces. Someone taking photos. In public, that's legal. The officer left. Emily looked at me. I can't live like this. The words hit hard. What are you saying? I'm saying this is affecting my life now. My job. My safety. I didn't sign up for this. I know. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. But it's happening. And I don't know how much more I can take. We didn't break up that night. But something shifted. The ease we'd had was gone, replaced by tension, by constant awareness that we were being watched, being judged. 2 days later, Emily's boss called her in. Someone had sent the website to her office. They didn't fire her, but they asked questions, wanted to know if she was safe, if I'd ever been violent. She told them no, told them it was all lies. They seemed to believe her, but the damage was done. That night, Emily packed a bag. I need some space, she said. Just for a few days. Stay with my sister. Clear my head. I'm not leaving you. I just need to breathe. Away from all this. She left. I sat alone in the apartment. Checked the website again. It had new content now. Photos of Emily. Her name. Her workplace. This is David's new victim. If you know her, please reach out. She deserves to know the truth before it's too late. I called Richard. She's targeting Emily now. Forward me everything. We're adding harassment to the lawsuit. That doesn't help right now. I know, but it's all we've got. I hung up, looked around the empty apartment, thought about how 3 years ago I'd sat in a different apartment, watching my marriage end. Thought I'd moved past it. Thought I'd won. But Becca was still there, still controlling my life, just from 1,000 miles away. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. David Harrington. Yeah. This is Detective Sarah Chun with the Phoenix Police Department. I'm calling about Rebecca Harrington. My heart stopped. What about her? We need to ask you some questions. About your relationship with her. And about some allegations she's made. What allegations? That you've been stalking her. Harassing her online. Threatening her. I almost laughed. That's not true. She's the one harassing me. That's what we're trying to determine. Can you come down to the station to give a statement? I'm in California. We can do it over the phone if necessary. But we need your cooperation. I called Richard. Put him on speaker. Detective Chun, this is David's attorney, Richard Moss. What exactly is Mrs. Harrington claiming? She filed a police report claiming Mr. Harrington has been sending her threatening messages, creating fake accounts to harass her, and has made threats against her life. That's absurd. Mr. Harrington has a restraining order against Mrs. Harrington. She's been violating it repeatedly. We have documentation of everything. Can you provide that documentation? Absolutely. I'll send it over today. Please do. In the meantime, Mr. Harrington, I need to advise you not to contact Mrs. Harrington in any way. I haven't contacted her. Good. Keep it that way. She hung up. Richard and I sat in silence. She's trying to flip the script, he said finally. Make herself the victim again. Will it work? Not if we show them the evidence. But it's another delay. Another complication. When does this end? When she stops? Or when we make her stop? And how do we do that? Richard didn't answer. I spent the next 3 days compiling everything. Every text. Every email. Every screenshot. Every police report. Sent it all to Detective Chun. She called back a week later. Mr. Harrington, after reviewing the evidence, we're closing Mrs. Harrington's complaint. There's no merit to her claims. However, I do want to advise you that she's escalating. People like this don't stop on their own. What should I do? Keep documenting. Keep your distance. And if she shows up in California, call the police immediately. I thanked her and hung up. Told Emily. She'd been staying at her sister's for 10 days now. Does this mean it's over? She asked. I don't know. David, I need to know if this is going to keep happening. If every time we take a step forward, she's going to pull us back. I can't promise that. Then I can't promise I'll stay. The line went quiet. You're breaking up with me. I'm saying I need to think about what I can handle. I love you, but I didn't sign up for a lifetime of this. She won't do this forever. How do you know? I didn't have an answer. We hung up. I sat on the couch and stared at the ceiling. Thought about calling her back. Thought about fighting for her. But I was so tired of fighting. 2 days later, the website went down again. This time it didn't come back up. I checked every day for a week. Nothing. Richard called. The lawsuit scared her. She's backed off. For now. Maybe for good. Some people have limits. I wanted to believe him. But I didn't. Emily came home 3 weeks after she'd left. We talked for hours. She said she'd thought about it. Thought about us. Thought about what she was willing to accept. I'll stay, she said. But if this starts again, I'm out. I can't do it twice. That's fair. I mean it, David. I love you, but I love myself more. I understand. We rebuilt slowly. Months passed. No website. No messages. No sightings. Life went back to normal. Emily and I got married a year later. Small ceremony. Just family and close friends. No drama. No interruptions. Becca didn't show up. Didn't post about it. Didn't react at all. I started to think maybe it was really over. Then, 2 years after the wedding, I got a package in the mail. No return address. Postmarked from Arizona. Inside was a wedding photo. Me and Emily. Someone had drawn on it in red marker. XS over our faces. And a note. Congratulations. Hope it lasts longer than ours did. I showed Emily. She looked at it for a long time. Then she took it to the kitchen and threw it in the trash. That's it. I asked. That's it. She sent a marked up photo. So what? She's 1,000 miles away, alone, and bitter. We're here. We're happy. She loses. What if she keeps trying? Then she keeps losing. Emily walked back to the living room. Sat down. Picked up her book. Like nothing had happened. I stood in the kitchen, looking at the trash. Realized she was right. Becca could send 100 photos. Could make 1,000 websites. Could spend the rest of her life trying to ruin mine. But she couldn't touch what Emily and I had. Because we'd built it on truth. On respect. On actual love. Not on manipulation. Not on control. Not on desperation. I threw the envelope in the trash with the photo. Went to the living room. Sat next to Emily. She leaned against me. We're good, she asked. We're good. And we were. Becca sent one more package 6 months later. Same kind of thing. Some attempt at intimidation. Emily threw it away without opening it. After that, nothing. 5 years have passed since the divorce now. I never heard from Becca again. Don't know where she is. Don't care. The website is long gone. The social media posts deleted. The people who believed her have moved on to other dramas. Emily and I are still together. Still happy. We don't talk about Becca. Don't think about her. She's just a chapter that ended. A lesson learned. And the lesson wasn't about her. It was about me. About knowing when to fight. And when to let go. About understanding that some people will hate you no matter what you do. About building a life that's strong enough to withstand attacks from people who want to see it fall. Becca wanted me to suffer. Wanted me to regret leaving her. Wanted me to spend my life looking over my shoulder. But I didn't. I built something better. Found someone better. Became someone better. And that's the revenge she never saw coming. Not because I tried to hurt her back, but because I stopped letting her hurt me at all. If this story hit home, subscribe. There's more where this came from.